Hello, welcome back to Cracking the Cryptic and another puzzle by SUDOKU today. We've been doing a lot of SUDOKU, but SUDOKU is always excellent, so there's every reason to keep doing it. So we've been recommended this puzzle called I'm Blue, and I'm going to have a look at it today. I think it's I'm Blue because the only markings in the grid are blue. These are standard blue lines. I will go through the rules shortly, but I do want to mention that well, Blueprints has been the game we've been streaming. Not quite sure when that's coming up next, but it will be at some point. But you can check the past streams on the live section under the video. They're quite amusing, I think, some of them, although one of them had a longer of an hour where we couldn't get anything done in the boiler room. Anyway, Simon fixed that the next day. Now, what else is really going on? We've got all sorts of stuff. So we've got these new Sudoku worms by Marty Sears and James Sinclair released, and they are jolly good fun. So do check those out. You can get there on, if you've got the apps on either AppStore or Google Play. That's the way to get there. Go to the CTC app and you can download the worms for $1 a piece and have some fun for ages. They are really good fun. And if you like those apps, there are many other apps, some of them available through that CTC app, others individual. And you can find the links under the video, but go to those CTC and Google, go to those App Store and Google Play places. Also, of course, they're all separate on Steam, these apps as well, so you can play them there on your PC. Where else could you go? You could go to Patreon and have a go at the rather fantastic Hunt by Ichio Yin Yang journey. It is a journey and it is one worth making, so do join us on Patreon. There's also crosswords and connections videos, all sorts going on there. SVEN'S SUDOKU PAD and our merch are linked under the video, but the first link is to this puzzle, and as I say, it's called I'm Blue. The rules are very straightforward. Normal Sudoku rules apply 1 to 9 in every row, column, and every 3 by 3 box. And along a blue line, the box borders divide the line into segments with the same sum. So that pair of digits will add up to the same as that pair, that single digit, and those 3. And that's the rules, nothing else in it. Give it a try. I'm going to start now. Let's get cracking. There's quite a lot of symmetry about this line and this line and, well, nearly this line and this line, but they're not quite the same, those two. Okay, so what do we have here? We have a 1-cell digit. Right, it's not just matched by a 3-cell digit, which would tell us that this digit was 6, 7, 8, or 9. It's also matched by a 3-cell digit. What do I mean? I mean a 3-digit sum. It's also matched by a 2-digit sum in the same box as the 3-digit sum. Right. The simplest way of looking at this is, what can these 5 yellow digits add up to? They are 2 segments of the same line. The minimum they could be is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That would add up to 15. But that has to be the total of twice this digit. And we can't use 15, therefore, because we can't put 7.5 in the puzzle. We have to go higher. The yellows must add up to either 16 or 18. And that digit is 8 or 9. And exactly the same ratios, relations, and functions apply to this pair that go into box 2. So that's 8 or 9, and we've got a pair. Actually, yes, let's do all the segments in the same color for each line. We've got a pair of 8, 9 in the central box. Okay, we know a bit more. Let's do box maths. I'm going to share a secret with you now. The total of every box, it's always the same. It's always the same number. Just like every row and column, every box has the digits 1 to 9 in. They always add up to the same number, and that number is 45. So this box adds up to 45, and this box adds up to 45. And I think we will be able to work out what those 2 cells add up to as a result. So let's colour this pink. and this pink, because they're the same value. Now, that value we don't know much about at first, because 4 cells in one box, 5 cells in the other, there's a big variation of possibilities. However, what we're looking at is that 2 yellows plus pink equals 45. So we may be into the realms of algebra, but I don't think we have to go there yet. The 2 yellows are either going to add up to 16 or 18, depending what that is. I'm going to just highlight these as well. So the 2 yellows make either 16 or 18 in box 4. This other group of cells is therefore either 29 or 27. Now, there are go-withs here. That's 29 if these are 8. And in that case, purple or pink and yellow in box 7 adds up to 37. And that pair, let's call them orange, would add up to 8. However, there is the alternative possibility that purple is 27, yellow is 9, that's 36, and then orange will add up to 9 to make up the 45 total. So orange either adds up to 8 or 9. Now, what's happening in boxes 2 and 3, which are similar, but this line is a tiny bit shorter. Well, I mean, the maths is exactly the same, actually. 16 plus 29 will lead to 29 plus 8 is 37. Then these would add up to 8. If that was 9, we've got 18 and 27. Here we would have 27 and 9 is 36. And this line would add up to 9. So it really is exactly the same as this pair, except we've got a triple here. Now, it's a shame that didn't decide which was which, but I may not have done enough thinking about 27 and 29, the possibilities for this line and for this line. Because these are an 8 and a 9, one of these is 27 and one of them is 29. Now, weirdly, in my brain, those feel like very similar numbers, but they're not. Because 29 only has one fill in 4 digits, and it's not going to work up here. That is the break-in. This can't be 9875 equals 29. Right. I know these numbers, I'm afraid, because I've done so much killer Sudoku, but 4 digits to make 29. Think of the 4 maximum Sudoku digits. They would be 9876. And that adds up to 30. Trust me on it, it does. To remove 1 from that total but still use 4 digits, you can only take 1 off the lowest number. Otherwise, the higher one will bump into a lower one and you'll get repeats. So there is only one possibility for a 29 sum, and it's 9875. But if that applied in red, it would also apply in red here, where we're looking at another 4-cell segment that would have to be 9875. And now suddenly the only candidates for these 5 cells, not 4, in row 1 are 9, 8, 7 and 5, and you can't fill them all. So red is not where 29 is happening. That must be pink. So that group is 9875. 29 is going, subtract it from 45, is 16, is going with the 8s. These are 8 pairs, and that's an 8, and there's our digit in the puzzle. That's a 9. These add up to 8, these add up to 8. The digits available are 1, 2, 3, 4, 6. The only pair that makes 8 out of that is 2, 6. And the triple is 1, 3, 4. And now we know what this is, because we've got 29 plus 8. This pair adds to 8. Oh, so does this pair. And this pair must add to 9, because it's the other thing. This is 27, 27, 9, 9, 9. I sound like a very denying German there. Right, the interesting thing about the 27 in the 2 red tetromino L shapes is that they must be made up of different combos. Oh no, I'll tell you what the interesting thing about this 27 is. It's got to have a 9 in. If you added 8, 7, 6 and 5, they only add up to 26. That's not enough. There's always a 9 in a 4-cell combo, and therefore we can put the 9 in there. Then we can put the 9 in here. It's got to be there because there must be a 9 in a 4-cell combination adding to 27. Now, what I was going to say is that we must use 2 different 27 combinations, and now we must use 2 different 18 combinations, one there and one there. Because if we tried to put, say, 5, 6, 7 in both places, you could put 5, 6, 7 there, but if you put 5, 6, 7 here, you'd break that cell. Does that let us actually do anything? I don't think it does. I mean, oh, well, I could add up, well, we've done that. This segment equals 9, this segment equals 9 as well. Ah, bingo. That segment equals 9, and it's looking at a 1, 3, 4 triple. So that has to be a 2, 7 pair. That doesn't mean 2 can't appear here. However, well, 7 and 8 can't appear there. They can't, oh, they could both be in red. Yeah, okay, forget that. Let's look down here. Now, there is something interesting. That is an 8 pair, a domino adding up to 8. So is that, and so is that. Just for a second, I'm going to colour them differently. Yellow, orange, and green. I'm now going to allege that all 3 of these segments have to be made up differently. Now, why do I claim that? Well, these 2 are in the same box as each other, so they can't use the same digits to make 8. That's obvious. This one is looking, both of its digits are looking at that cell, so it can't be the same 2 digits as are making up orange, and it can't be the same 2 digits as are making up yellow, because that cell wouldn't be able to be filled in once you put those 2 digits in green. So, green is different from both orange and yellow and orange are different from each other. So all of those are made up with different sets of the digits to make 8, and you will probably be aware or have thought that there are only 3 ways of doing that. They are 1, 7, 2, 6 and 3, 5. I mean 4, 4 is another way, but that doesn't apply in any of these situations. Now, which one of these, yellow or orange, could be 2, 6? Neither of them, because that would break this cell in box 4 or that one. So the green is the 2, 6 pair. One of these is a 1, 7 pair and the other is a 3, 5 pair. And that means we know that this pink segment is digits 2, 4, 6, 8, 9. That one can't be 2 or 6 because of this pair. I mean, maybe, I don't know, maybe I've been making too much of that, but I find it quite interesting. I'm going to go back to colouring these orange now because they're another... I suppose I could colour both segments yellow. Try and manage some consistent colours for the puzzle. Yellow is always 8. Right, where does 8 go in this row? Talking of 8, it goes here. And these 2 are a 5, 6 pair. One of them is on a line. And the digits on that line are now quite low, perforce. There's a 2 in one of these cells. Oh, 8 is knocked out of those into that cell, and then knocked out of those, and it's got to be in one of these 2. The 9 versus 27 feels a lot more, it's got a lot more freedom. So let's keep focusing down here. Maybe we'll get to this line in a minute. 8, 2, 7, 5, 7, 9, 8, 2. 8, 2, 6. I mean, there's a 6 in one of those cells. This isn't very interesting. Okay, there's a 9. 9 and 9. One of these 2 is a 9. I don't need that pencil mark. That was for a total. I'm definitely going to remember that these yellows add up to 8. Don't worry about that. Now, 2, 4, 6, 8, 9. What can I do next? This line? Not really. These 9 sums, no. Those two have to be different ways of making up 9, but with 9 there's more freedom. There are 4 ways of getting to 9 with a domino. Oh, 9 is green in my bright green in my new system of color segments. Oh, sorry, I don't quite know what to do next. Right, this group adds up to 9. It cannot be, there are 3 ways of adding up to 9 in 3 different cells. They are 1, 2, 6, 1, 3, 5, and 2, 3, 4. This group cannot be 1, 2, 6 because it would break this cell. So it's either 2, 3, 4 or 3, 1, 5. There must be a 3 in it. And now this pair can't be 3, 6. Is that any use? Oh yes it is, because where does 6 go in the box? It can't go there and it can't go here. So it must go in this group, and then that's looking at this cell, which becomes a 2. There we go. That was a really clever way of getting things done. So I can place 2 in the central box and 5 and 6 here. I mean, I just lucked into that, but that's good. And now 5 is looking at this set, which can't be 3, 1, 5. So it must be 2, 3, 4. And now the only low digit we can put in here is a 1. So that's a 1, 8 pair. And this is 5, 6, 7. That's brilliant. This is the sort of thing Sudoku does. It just makes you happy. Puts the joy into Sudoku. That's the name. 5, 6, 9, 8, 2. There's a 7 in one of those cells. These are from 1, 3, 4. This has become a 5. So we'll take 5 off its 2-cell segment part. Now I could give it a color because I know it's not one of our other colors that we've used. I don't know why I want to do that, but there it is. The other digits in this column are 1, 7, and 9. And in this one, 3, 4, 5, and 7. So now we are approaching this line a little bit. So the minimum, well, 7 is the minimum here. That's nonsense because there's a 4-cell line segment. That must be at least 1, 2, 3, 4. It must add up to 10. But the maximum here is 7 and 5, 12. So this line now has a sum of 10, 11, or 12. 10 is the minimum, 12 is the maximum. Actually, it can't be 11. This pair can't add up. Oh, yes, they can. They can be 7 and 4. So it's 10 or 12 or 11. Or 11. What's my brain doing? And there must be a 7 in this portion. Yeah, 5 and 4 is only 9. So neither of these are a 7, and the 7 in the central box is suddenly placed. And there's a 1, 9 pair here. 8 has to be in one of these cells. 8 says not there, so I can place 8 in the box. Now, there's going to be an 8 in row 8, and it's not there. It's in one of these two, and I wonder, can it possibly be on a line whose maximum sum is 12? And I answer myself, no. 8 plus 1, 2, 3 would be a minimum 14. So we've placed 8. Actually, similarly, we can probably place, well, we can limit 9 in the box. I don't think 9 can go on this line that can't add up to more than 12, nor can 7. But 9 is now confined into one of these two cells because we've got that 9 in the grid. They're looking at row 9, column 4. 9 is also looking at these cells and is now confined here. That's not a 9, and even better, 9 is now placed in box 1. Ooh, I think 8 is placed in box 1. So 8 here is ruled out of those cells. That leaves these 3. Okay, I'm going to pencil mark that for a second. But I think these 3 have to contain 8. And the reason I think that is because what I said earlier, They can't be the same group. In fact, I used 5, 6, 7 as the example. They can't be the same group as this group because that would break this cell. Therefore, I think they have to have an 8 in. There are still possibilities. It could be 8. What are we adding up to? 27. They're 8, 6, 4 or 8, 7, 3. But now it can't be 5, 6, 7. There has to be an 8 in. And now these can't be 8, and we do place 8 in box 1. This is either 8, 7, 3 or 8, 6, 4. Okay, so 8 is placed in box 7. That's fine. This digit is not 5 or 7. That is 3 or 4. 5 and 7 are confined here. We still don't know if this line is 12 or 10. Ooh, this is another portion of the line, though. It's adding up to 10, 11, or 12. I don't know why I keep forgetting 11. 10, 11, or 12. But this pair cannot use 6, 7, or 8, or 2. It adds up to 10, 11, or 12, and it can't use 6, 7, or 8. I feel like I'm going to say it needs a 9. I am, because otherwise, if it didn't use a 9, the maximum it could be is 4 plus 5 equals 9. So it's got to have a 9 in that bit. I can fill that in based on Sudoku. Then I've probably finished off 9s and 8s in the grid. Well, I have if I take a 9 possibility out of that cell, because now I can fill in 9 here. I haven't filled in all 8s. Hang on, I might be about to do that. Yes, there's the last 8. Right, and that pair beside the 8, flanking the 8, adds up to 10. This pair adds up to 9, so does this pair. Oh, this isn't 2, 3, 4 because it would break that cell. Therefore, there's a 1 in this group, which I could have done by Sudoku. It's either 1, 2, 6 or 1, 3, 5. And either way, this is going to become a pair, either a 3, 4 pair or a 2, 4 pair. And this group of cells then are made up of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and that's not 5, and this is 6 or 7. In fact, I've got that wrong. I'm sorry. This could be 1, 2, 6. There's nothing to stop that. And that's 3, 4, and then these are 5 and 7. Okay, 5. It's not a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 triple. Sorry. Right. Anyway, this pair, 10, 11, or 12. So that's 1, 2, or 3. Can't be 2. So now 11 is ruled out. My brain was onto it. This digit is known. It's a 5. 10 or 12. So this pair is either 7, 3 or 7, 5. Doesn't have a 4 in. This is either 1, 2, 3, 4 for 10, 1, 2, 4, 5, or 1, 2, 3, 6 for 12. There's always a 1 and a 2 in it, and the 2 is in one of these cells and not here. Now there's a 2 in one of those two. 7, I was claiming earlier, is not in this group, and I think that's right. So 7's confined to one of those 3, but in box 6 it's confined to one of those 2. That's going to use the 7's up for column 8 and 9, and the 7 in box 3 must be in one of these 3 cells, and it's not here in the corner, so that's not 3. 1, 8, 2, 7, 5, 9. These are from 1, 3, 4, 6. That digit has to be the same as that one. Oh, I'm not far away. Oh, this line, orange line. I haven't looked at that for a while. 1 there is looking at that cell, so that's not 4. Oh, hang on. Maybe one of these can't be 3, 5 now. 3, 5, 7. No. No, I'm not seeing that. Okay, I mean, I'm missing something fairly big at this point. This can't be a 7 because it's on a 3-cell segment of line adding up to 9. 7's in one of those two places. Is it column 1? Am I missing something going on there? Yeah, oh no, I was about to say 2's in one of those places, which would have been incredibly helpful. But I don't know that. Utter rubbish mark. Okay, 10 or 12. Let's go back to that down here. 10 or 12. There must be a 1 in this group of cells. 1, 2. Now, if it's 6, 3, that's a 2, 6 pair. That would be 1, 3. Oh, I need a 4 in this row. Well, that's here. Now this group of cells involves 1, 2, 4, and either 3 or 5. If there was a 5, it would be in one of these two. And there. If there was a 5, it would make that cell a 3 by adding up, and then that would be a 3. I don't know, is this 1, 2, 3, 4 or 1, 2, 4, 5? It doesn't contain 7 or 6, which have to be in this group. It's not quite enough to finish the puzzle for me. Oh, bobbinacious bobbins. I'm really missing something now. This is such a clever puzzle. It has not been, you know, really tricky at any step. It's just been beautifully flowing. What am I not being able to see now? That digit. If it's 3, it must go there. That's quite interesting. Let's just track that for a moment. If it's 3, this line adds up to 12. So then the 3 would be there. Okay, that hasn't broken, definitely. So what if it's 1? Then this is 1, 2, 4, 5. Is there some interaction with this group? Do you know, I don't think there is. I'm just going to reject that out of hand. Okay, I'm confusing myself now. I don't know how to resolve this last. This is definitely the last deduction we need in the puzzle. Maybe I should focus on that pair adding to 10. This pair can't be. Well, this pair is going to use either 2, 3, or 4. It's either 2, 7, 3, 6, or 4, 5. And that's going to form a virtual 2, 3, 4 triple in the row. Here's something I haven't seen before. So this digit can't be 2, 3, or 4 in the same row. It's 5, 6, or 7. I was about to yell, where's 1 in this column? No, where's 1 in row 1? It's in one of these cells. Yes, it is. Oh, well, that's a big deal, because now it's not in orange in box 1. Yes, there's a 1 in one of those cells looking at that. That's how I should have got to that. This is now a 2, 3 pair. That is an X-wing with 2, 6 here. That's using up the 2's in columns 2 and 3. Now the 2 in column 1 is going to have to be down here at the bottom. And what else do we get? We've got a 3 X-wing as well with this group down here. 1, 3, 5, 7 there and 2, 3 there. That's using up the 2 3's. So we get to place 3 in column 1. Now we've got a 1 X-wing. 1 in boxes 4 and 7 are confined to columns 2 and 3. So the 1 in box 1 is in the corner. And where are we then? Come on, X-Wings, do your thing. I think I may be able to look at just all of the digits in these two columns. 1, 3, 5, 7, 8, 9, 2, 6, 4. That's a full set. Plus a 1, 9, 8, 2, 3. We're left with 4, 5, 6, and 7. So these are selected from 4, 5, 6, and 7. And that's a quad in this row. So then I can place I've only got one place for 2 in the row, and then one place for 3. That's 3 in the corner. That's 3 in the spot. Light. Going with a 7. And now there's no 7 here. Now 7 in this box is in one of these two cells. And surely that's going to help. It's going to take 7 out of this one. It's going to take 5 now out of this. 7, 8, 3, 9. This pair can't be 1, 8, 2, 7 or 3, 6. This is 4, 5. Now we've got a 1, 2, 6 triple here. That's a 3, that's a 4. This is 2, that's 3. 9, 3, 4, 8, 1, 2, 6. This is 5 or 7, and so is this, but this has to be 7. Right, I think we're going to just be unwinding the whole puzzle now. Beautiful. 6 there. Now is when the typos start coming in. 4 and 6 there. That 3 is taking 3, 5 out of there, putting it over here instead. 6 is looking at that. These can't have a 6 in. 3, 5 is looking up here. 4, 5, 4, 1. Okay. I still haven't done whether this is 10 or 12. Never mind. 9, 6, 2, 8. How is this? This must all be resolved. Yes, that 3 is looking here. And now we know. Now we know it's a 10 sum, rather to my surprise. Less flexible. 1, 2, 3, 4 there. They can't have a 2 on that side. 5, 6, 7 in the rest of the box, and we now know that's a 6. We've got a 5, 7 pair here looking at that 3. That's a 7. That's 4. That's 5. That sorts out 3 and 5. 1 and 7 in box 7. This is a 1, 2 pair. That's a 3, 4 pair. That's 2, 7, 2. That's a 5 in the corner. We get a 4 here. 3 and 6. That's a 1, 3, 4. Now we are just finishing off pairs. And where do we start? With the 2 there. So then we can put in 2, 1, 1, 6, 6, 3, 3, 4, and 4, 5. And that is, let's give this a colour. There we go. 4, 5 to finish off. Oh, all of those segments are different. Yeah, I have maintained different colours, I think, for each segment. Anyway, there we go. Ooh. 4, 5. Lovely puzzle. I'm blue. Well, the last segment is blue. It's really beautifully done by SUDOKU, as everything that SUDOKU touches is. Everything he touches turns to blue. Oh, it certainly does today. Thank you for watching. It's a lovely puzzle. I really enjoyed that. Hope to see you for a bit more variant Sudoku tomorrow. We'll be back again, both Simon and myself, with a video each, and we look forward to seeing you. Bye for now.